College Football 26 has dropped a Dynasty update centered around position changes, man. The last couple videos, we've been talking bad about EA, criticizing them. Let's give EA their flowers for dropping a patch on us, man. Especially, it's been, less than 2 weeks since the game has officially dropped, or early release, whatever you want to call it, and they actually dropped the update. Now, is it perfect? No, but this shows us a lot. It shows me, at least, that EA cares, they're trying, and we identified the issue within the game mode that we all expressed we didn't like. What that issue was, position changes. You should be able to change a left guard to left tackle without having some type of position change issue with increasing skill cap. We identified that issue, presented it to EA, and they say, here, we'll fix it for you. Now, like I said, it's not perfect. It's only for offline dynasties right now. We got to wait until the big update that might not come until a month after the game has released. So at this point, damn near 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get it next week, hopefully. I would be surprised if we get it before. I mean, we're not going to get it tomorrow, but maybe we get it next week, hopefully. If y'all do enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Go over to my Twitter because that's where I tweet stuff. So when stuff like this drop, I will tweet it out. But no, this is a interesting update, man. Like, I get it from the perspective that where I think it's easier for them to drop stuff for only online game mode. So this is why this is only will affect online dynasties. Now, I would probably say maybe 60%, 75, maybe even 75% of the community, somewhere in that range, probably all of their dynasties are offline. I have one online dynasty, and that's with my friends, but position changes played no factor into that because we are literally at week 1. Probably in your first season, and position changes probably haven't had an impact on your dynasty. But obviously, we got our team builder guys out there. You got to do an online dynasty for a team builder. So if you have a team builder, for some reason you just pick the online dynasty option, you could have this stuff applied to your current dynasty. I think the unfortunate part is if you already cooked the person's skill cap. For example, if you had a freshman athlete, 5-star, dual threat quarterback, and you moved him over to quarterback, that's all you had to do, and it'll cook his skill caps. I think it's still going to be cooked, man. I don't think they went in and fixed players that was already messed up. If you already had a dynasty and you move guys around, messed them up, I think it's going to be over with. I'm not going to lie. I think it's already over with, but going forward for your online dynasty, if you move guys around, it actually will make sense. And they allowed it pretty much so you can move guys within your position group. So old linemen pretty much will not receive any type of skill cap increase, at least not as bad as it was before. D lineman, same type deal. But now if you move a D lineman to maybe linebacker, you will see that increase. And that one, I would say do D-line and linebacker, maybe even combine those, just because sometimes you see some interesting stuff. You see some Sams go over to, play defensive line. So you see some stuff like that. So maybe they should combine that. Not the end of the world, though. And then defensive back, obviously, you can move them guys around without the skill cap issue. Now, athletes. This one is interesting. So they could set their initial position without impacts to their skill caps. But once you set that guy, that dual threat to quarterback, and yes, he could play receiver, tight end, he's there. And I think it's a little bit unfortunate because, in real life, you see it all the time. Colorado tight end, he was a D lineman, 5-star athlete. He came in as a D lineman. His name is Smalls, Savion Smalls, I believe his name is. He came in as a 5-star D lineman, and it really didn't work out on the defense side of the ball. He moved back over to offense, and now he's a tight end for Colorado. And, not saying he's the best player in the world, but there's multiple examples of guys that come in as an athlete, and they might end up moving to a different side of the ball throughout their career in college. So it's unfortunate that you don't really get that with athletes, especially when these dual threats or just any of these athletes come in with high overalls at multiple positions. And then if I just need something different later on, because maybe we got so many quarterbacks, okay, well, he probably could actually start at running back in year 3. You don't really have that option to do that. It's going to still cook their skill caps. That's the way I'm reading this. That's the way it seems like it is. Players' new skill caps are now more strongly influenced by their development trait and their school year. Younger players, those with higher development traits, will have higher skill caps at their new positions. So if you're younger and you have just more potential, then when you do move a guy, the skill caps won't be as harsh. I think that asks the question is the finesse still in the game? I think 100%. I think this has nothing to do with the finesse that we kind of went over the last couple days. I think that's going to be in the game 100%. We had to go to an online dynasty to test it because, like I said, it's not in offline whatsoever. But I think this, clearly it has nothing to do with the finesse. Now, the good part is we know they're aware. We know they know about the issues within, position changes and probably also the transporter. They know about these issues and they're actively working to fix them. And the good part about just us getting this quick patch today, like I said, it's probably not going to be impactful for maybe 60 to 75% of the community right now, just because, like I said, most guys probably have offline dynasties, and a lot of guys are even waiting to start a dynasty until some of this stuff is fixed. So it probably won't impact most people, but like I said, it just tells us they're listening, and they're also able to maybe drop a quick fix sometimes instead of wait for the big title update. So hopefully we do see another quick fix for a thing or two for Dynasty, and hopefully they find a way to put it in for offline dynasties so, just everyone could be involved. They also fixed the coach glitch, man, where you could just max your coach out. I thought they'd been fixed that, but apparently not. Apparently it's now fixed. So online should be in a little bit of a better spot. Online dynasty should be in a little bit of a better spot. And also they fixed the pretty much where you could get insta commits. I didn't cover it on this channel, but it was a finesse where you could literally have a guy insta commit without even it being an insta commit. When a guy have you number one, you offer the scholarship. It's a small chance of you getting an insta commit. Where it was a glitch in the game where you could essentially, finesse position changes, then also finesse, the coach ability and motivator tier 1, where it was just crazy. It was crazy. You could literally get a guy to commit instantly, damn near, but that seems to be at least nerfed a little bit, man. So what the finesse was, when you max out a skill cap for a guy, then every recruit at that position will get a bonus to their interest. And then you just keep doing it for a bunch of these guys. What you did was you just move a guy to a certain position. He'll get really bad skill caps, and you just manually upgrade him. You just save him to the start of the year, and you could just manually upgrade like all his skill caps. It was super cheesy, and it wasn't really a glitch. I think it was just cheesy because it was a game mechanic. It wasn't like you was glitching the game, but it was just a real bad mechanic. So what I want to do here, I want to start an online dynasty, and we're just going to see if you still could, I guess, finesse position changes, the way you could before. So we're just going to quickly start one, sim to the off season, and just see if you still could finesse position changes. Like I said, I think you can. I think the only difference really is like when you're moving guys from within a certain position. Well, guess what? The finesse that is really bad, and I'm really nervous for online dynasties, is this one right here. All right, so we sim to the off season. I just want to see if the method still works, man. So we went with Michigan because Bryce Underwood has some pretty bad skill caps. If you didn't know, he maxes out around a 87 overall. I think 87 is his max overall, and skill caps and accuracy. So we go ahead and max out his accuracy. Now, if we just change his position, what happens? Let's see if the finesse still works. A reminder, this is an online dynasty with the new patch. So let's move him to running back and just move him back over to quarterback. And let's see if it's patched with the new update. Moving back over to quarterback. Oh no, wrong guy. That's Daniel. Let's move Bryce Underwood, the quarterback. He's actually a 79 overall running back. And I think it switched his archetype. It appears dual threat now. I don't know what his archetype was before. And still works. It still works to perfection. And you could upgrade this now, and now his overall is at 89. And guess what? Now you just advance the week. And once you advance, because that's all the skill points he got just from the regular season. Now you advance. And you talking about something super cheesy here, man. But so like I said, I didn't think the update was gonna fix this whatsoever. So your online dynasties, you gotta be careful, man. I suggest just advancing past this whole week, man. Position change or even trade. I don't know. You gotta, because this is bad. This is very cheesy. And now you could just get 99 throw accuracies. Now he's, definitely a very good quarterback, and you can maybe even upgrade some speed and you can just kind of see how cheesy it really can be. Now, he did lose every single one of his abilities, but he's a sophomore. You can always just buy him back. You cannot buy back skill caps, you know. So you do lose your abilities, so maybe you don't do it for a guy like Bryce, who actually had some very good abilities, and he was maxing them out. But it's still in the game. I think overall, I'm happy to see that they're working on the game. They're working to improve Dynasty. They know about the issues, and they're working towards them. Because I was nervous that, you know, because last year just a lot of stuff never got fixed. A lot of stuff never got fixed. And I think this year that'll be the case. Some stuff may not get patched. Maybe the glitch we just went through, the finesse we just went through, maybe that don't ever get fixed. I really hope it does. But some stuff just never got fixed last year, so that's going to be the reality. But it's good to see they are prioritizing position changes, and hopefully they prioritize some of this other stuff. Like the rain, man. I see a lot of y'all talking about the rain. The rain is bad. But if y'all enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Purdue video dropped earlier today. Click the video on the screen now to check it out.